Hi, I'm Lorrie with Green Village Biofertilizers. Today I'm with Jeffrey, our mad scientist, and we're having a garden-side chat. So Jeffrey, what is this you've created? What mad creation have you been up to?
Well, for about the last 13 years or so, I have been working on creating a line of soil amendments and biofertilizers called Algae Grow. And it's a really amazing product that uses algae as the base, and we've added other components to it that help to create really healthy soil.
Yeah. So Algae Grow, that's interesting. So the basis of it is algae?
That's correct.
And what sets that apart from other soil amendments?
Well, for one thing, a lot of people don't realize that there is algae in healthy soil. Now, what sets it apart is it's completely biological. But it's more than that. It is literally life for the soil. What we are doing is taking the basic biology that is present in healthy soil, and we're making that easily available for people to use to really enhance their soils.
Wow. I mean, so it's kind of, could be one-stop shopping?
Yeah, basically, it's we've designed it so it's really easy to use. And the benefits of it are that it's really easy to use. And the second thing is that it really saves water, and we'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. And the third thing, that it creates an environment in the soil which benefits the plants. It makes it very healthy plants, and it increases the yield of those plants because of that.
Great. Well, that sounds good. So it's biological. It's so no chemicals involved.
That's correct. It is chemical free, and one has to understand what has been happening to our soil a little bit without getting too deep into that. If you've got pesticides, herbicides, and chemical-based fertilizers, they destroy all the biology in the soil. The algae, the fungi, the mycorrhizal fungi, the bacteria, it destroys.
Worms.
And the worms and all of the other critters that are below the soil surface, and they sterilize the soil, so it'll only grow on chemicals. What our product does is it puts all that life back in the soil, and it helps to support that. So it is chemical free.
Sounds good to me. So this is good for gardens?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's excellent for gardens. And once again, because it's so simple. You typically do not have to use a lot of compost. You don't have to use a lot of compost tea and go through that process of making it. You don't have to add a lot of other stuff to it, assuming that your soil is kind of okay to begin with. If the soil is really nasty or it's just dirt, then yes, you might have to add some compost and other things to it to get it started. But Algae Grow is all you need to have a healthy garden, and there's a multiple different ways that you can use that to ensure your healthy garden.
Well, I'm liking this already. Besides the garden, where else could you use Algae Grow?
Well, as it treats the soil, you can certainly use it on lawns. You can use it on fruit trees. You can use it in agriculture. You can use it on organic gardens and small farms, and actually in regenerative agriculture as well. Now, let's talk about lawns for just a minute. The reason why this works so well is because it changes the soil so it becomes like a sponge, and it really holds water. It's called water holding capacity. And once you do that, then you really can reduce the amount of water that you need to put on your lawn you could probably reduce your sprinklers by 2/3, which means a huge saving in the gallons of water that you're putting on your lawn right away. And as your soil gets healthier, your plants, your sod gets healthier, your grass gets healthier, and consequently it'll start choking out any weeds.
So I do know there are other organic fertilizers and amendments out there, but what I'm gathering from algae grow, it's relatively unique in that it has the algae and it's a living product. So as you put it on your soil, it's not just the one-time application. The value of it is the algae is alive and continues to grow and continues to feed the soil.
That is correct. That is correct. There's actually a number of different things that the algae does, but I don't want to get into this right now. We'll do a real deep dive in the science of it in another video. But yes, you apply it and it starts to grow. And once it starts growing, it grows like crazy. It'll double its concentration in 9 hours. So it triples. And as this stuff starts growing, then it starts feeding other components in the biology. So it starts feeding the bacteria. There are little critters in the soil called decomposers that eat algae. There's over 50,000 of these species. That's all they do is they eat algae. And they poop out algae poop.
Algae
which
poop.
feeds the soil. I mean, just like the worms when they create worm castings, it's the same thing.
Okay. Cool.
So it's amazing, everything that's under our feet. All these little critters and arthropods and weird stuff. And it's really, really fun, but it's necessary for that to really feed the soil, which feeds the plants.
Wow, that's super cool. So you're saying it's going to continue growing. It's going to save water. It'll save water by creating, what are they called? Aggregates?
They're called aggregates, that's correct. So, there you are. It's basically, you can see that it's really crumbly soil. It's rich. It's high in carbon. It's deep in color. And it looks like a sponge and it acts like a sponge. Now the thing is that the more, season by season, the more you add the algae grow to it, then these aggregates get deeper. The sponges get deeper and deeper and deeper in the soil. And they can go down to a meter deep or more. And once you start achieving that season after season, that is regenerating. That is regenerative agriculture right there.
And that's what everyone's reaching for and searching for right now. The regenerative movement is huge, especially in the bigger farmers. So this is a solution to that, and we can start it here at your home. You can start in your garden, your raised garden, your rooftop gardens, your backyard, and expand into the world.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, one of the things you want to consider about your gardens is to make sure you put pure water on. And what we provide, and you can find on our website at algaegrow.com, is a filter. And for about $25, this will last you about 3 or 4 seasons. And what it does is it takes out the chlorine and chloramines and the heavy metals that really are not beneficial to plants or to the soil. It will kill the algae, the bacteria, all these little critters. The worms don't like it, and the plants don't like it. So we suggest that you buy one of these filters. It just goes right on your hose, and it's easy to use, and it lasts a long time, and your plants will love it. Your yard will love it. Your grass will love it.
Right, without having chlorine on your yard. You know, the other night you were telling me, tell me about Rocky again.
Oh yeah, Rocky. We call him Rocky Raccoon, and he shows up here almost nightly, and he has. I think he comes back time and time again, simply because this lawn does not have any chemicals on it. So he's out here foraging for bugs and grubs and worms and so forth. It's fun to watch him. And so he's just gobbling up all these really healthy bugs that don't have the chemicals to it. I mean, they know that. They know what's healthy to eat and what is not healthy to eat. So it's really fun to have Rocky show up here night after night after night.
That's great. Well, your yard certainly is beautiful. It's so lush and green, and if that's attributed to algae grow, I'm in. And so you use not as much water. How much do you water?
I really don't water very much anymore. In fact, I have not turned on the sprinkler system in 4 seasons. Now, does that mean I never water? No. If it's July and I get a hot spot in the lawn, then I break out the sprinkler, just the hose, and I water it in a little bit. But I haven't turned it on in 4 years.
Well, that's amazing.
Thousands and thousands of gallons.
That's excellent. Well, if everyone did that, that would make a difference in the world for sure.
Right. And basically if you get the biology right in the soil, you don't need a lot of water because it holds it.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, thank you so much for your time. What a beautiful setting you have here. So, if you're interested in algae grow, go to www.algaegrow.com. The product is there, available for sale. We have salespeople standing by, or people to answer your questions, or the mad scientist can answer your questions. So please join us. Thank you very much.